Hello everybody, today we will learn how to classify triangles by finding the third angle and knowing the definitions. So there are two different ways to classify triangles, by their congruence and by their angles. You're basically just going to need to know these definitions. Scalene triangle has 0 congruent sides or angles, meaning they're all different. Isosceles have 2 congruent sides or angles. Equilateral have 3. For classifying by angles, an acute angle is an angle that's less than 90. So acute triangles have all acute angles. An obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle, and a right triangle has one right angle. Meaning for the obtuse and the right, they're each going to have 2 acute angles. Since the angles of a triangle have to add to 180, it would be impossible to have 2 right angles or 2 right angles, 2 obtuse or 2 right. So if I have 2 sides of a right triangle, if I have 2 sides of a triangle, to find the third, I add them and subtract from 180. You don't need to draw a picture for the purposes of this. It may or may not be helpful to. Now, once I have the 3 angles of a triangle, one, I ask if it's scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. Well, since 2 of them are the same, that makes it isosceles. Now to classify it by their angles, acute has all acute, obtuse has one obtuse, right has one right. And since this thing has a 90-degree angle, that makes it a right triangle. This triangle would be isosceles and right. Number 2, when I'm given 2 angles of a triangle, to find the third, I add them up and subtract from 180. So I have 60, 60, 60. So the first question is scalene, isosceles, equilateral. Since it has 3 congruent angles, they're all the same, it's equilateral. And finally, to classify it the other way by its angles, since it has 3 acute angles, all 3 angles are less than 90, it makes it an acute triangle. And let's just go through one more. I have 2 angles of a triangle, so to find the third, I add them up, and I subtract from 180. That gives me a third angle of 30. Now that I have my 3 angles, this one, they're all different. That makes it scalene. And since there's one angle that's more than 90, it has one obtuse angle, it makes it an obtuse triangle. So it's all about knowing your definitions. Your definitions are right here. You need to know how the definitions of each of the different types of triangles. And the only other thing you need for this lesson, if you have 2 angles of a triangle and you want to find the third, you add them up and you subtract from 180. That's all I got for you.